power rarely announces itself. Its whispers spread slowly, if you're paying attention. Bridled Anger by Stephen Meehan. As the sun crept up the sky, Ramos shook his head. With every motion, the Wanderer's helm softened and elongated. Within moments, the steel had transformed from a protective piece of armor into a hooded cloak. When the edge of the garment reached his calves, he pulled it tightly around his shoulder before pulling the hood down to obscure his milky white eyes. With a sudden inhalation, he emerged from the shadows, stepping onto the town's main thoroughfare and weaving between the early risers. Halfway down the street, someone emerged from a crossing path and stepped in front of Ramos, forcing the Wanderer to stop. Prior to scanning the area, the stranger leaned in so closely that Ramos could discern the man's last meal.
What kept you?
I'm not that late, Jandar.
Ramos's shoulders relaxed as he identified his mark upon the newcomer. With an obscured smile, his hooded eyes soaked in everything, despite their deformity. He inched closer as he ran his thumb across his lips as he lowered his gaze to the ground.
Besides, Emily's soldiers are everywhere. In order to avoid them, I needed to take a circuitous route, which delayed my arrival slightly. However, I'm not exceedingly late.
I would have rather you had gotten here earlier than you did.
That's a detail we can bicker about later.
Ramos reached out, grasping his informant's shirt as his head bobbed.
For now, let's focus on the actual issue. Emily's soldiers. Is their presence here an abnormality? Or does she truly enjoy the support she's apparently receiving in this section of the continent?
We cannot talk out here,
Jandar said, grabbing Ramos's arm. With a gentle tug, he retreated down the side path, dragging the Wanderer behind him. Every time Ramos pressed about their destination, Jandar would raise a finger, forestalling the discussion. After the third silent rebuke, Ramos resigned himself to following his informant on their own circuitous path through the city. After what felt like hours, Jandar pulled up beside a secluded and unkempt building. His head whipped about as he reached for the door's handle.
Once we're inside, we'll have ample privacy for our inflammatory discussion.
Ramos tugged his hood as he stared at the establishment's wall. With his altered sight, the solid structure was nothing more than lightly packed sand suspended in glass, letting him make out the collections of stars just beyond the barrier. His fist clenched as he silently ground his teeth. When his gaze shifted back to Jandar, the similar cluster beside him confirmed the ambush. With a groan, Ramos freed himself from Jandar's grasp.
Why did we have to come here?
Emily has many spies,
Jandar said, opening the building's door and ushering Ramos inside.
Inside, we won't have to worry about them. We can have candid conversations.
Ramos released a pent-up breath as he sauntered into the doorway. He lingered in the opening for a couple of heartbeats before he thumped the frame.
Jandar, you've worked with me for many seasons. Must we talk inside?
You need to come inside so we can talk.
No,
Ramos said, unclenching his fists.
the four of you are hoping an ambush will allow you to beat me to death. At least that's what I'm assuming Emily or her messenger suggested.
I'd never betray you,
Jandar said, creeping into the room. A sigh escaped Ramos's lips as his hooded cape swirled and contracted about his head. When it stopped undulating, a silver helm adorned his brow. He reached forward, snapping his fingers, and a bright light filled the room for a moment, eliciting a chorus of screams. He stepped inside and wrapped his fingers around the nearest thug's head and slammed it into the ground. And in the same motion, he rolled forward, coming up to his feet as he spun to his left. He dashed across the room and drove his fist into the next figure's stomach. As the second tough doubled over Ramos's arm, he shoved him onto the floor as he hurried to the third individual, who had been prepared to club the Wanderer. He seized the man's face and smashed his skull into the wall. As the last assailant crumbled, Jandar rubbed his eyes as he tried forcing himself through the stone wall. A snap from Ramos lifted the trio of assailants off the ground, and they encircled the Wanderer. When a second snap echoed off the walls, an unseen force dragged Jandar to Ramos's feet and forced him into a kneeling position.
My cursed sight prevents anyone from ambushing me.
Ramos slapped Jandar's face, but instead of falling, the trembling man remained propped up like a puppet.
Don't be surprised you're still kneeling. To those like Emily and me, impossible deeds are within our grasp.
You didn't kill us.
Jandar's gaze shifted from Ramos to the unconscious men circling overhead.
What plans do you have for us?
You'll be presenting a message to Emily.
Ramos thrust a hand at the nearest chair, and it exploded into a cloud of swirling particles. Then he pointed at the floor beside him, and the swirling mist slammed to the ground, reforming the chair. Once it was reconstituted, Rama sat down and repositioned Jandar's head.
However, I'm still deciding what to tell her. Tell me why you betrayed me. I've been good to you. Why did you agree to help her?
She didn't give me a choice.
Jandar said, as a red handprint emerged on his face.
It's not like I knew you were cursed with the sight. Even if I did, you're not here enough to keep me safe from her machinations. If you don't kill me, she will.
That's something you can discuss with your new master.
A final snap thundered inside the empty chamber, and the three men rocketed towards the walls. Yet instead of a sickening crunch, they simply embedded themselves into the thick stone.
You shouldn't have been so willing to betray me, Jandar.
With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends. Thanks for reaching the end of the video. But why not keep the rhythm going? Pick one of the videos on screen and settle in for another moment of escape. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell to get notified when new tales drop.